welcome, man. All right, guys, I am back in the shop. Man, I just test drive this PT Cruiser. As y'all can see, it has 118,000 miles. 2008 model, maybe I want to say. Anyway, oh my God, man. I'm gonna actually do a whole nother video on this topic, but for now, let me cover it real quick on, use this car as an example. She went and got, first of all, she got her income tax check. Now, as you know, for people that get a large sum of income tax back around this time of year, they tend to try to put some money aside for a used car. Okay, now some of the places they would end up at to get these used car are, get this, an auction. Oh, that is one of the most riskiest places you can go as a, well, I don't want to sound sexist. So as a female, I'm not sure you should be at an auction. Even a used car lot is risky at this point because you're vulnerable. You have a large sum of money and they prey on such people. Okay, so anyway, she got this at a real good steal at an auction. But you all know what kind of cars wind up at auctions, okay? Hell, there's some even mechanics that take their car to the auction to pawn it off, to get rid of it that way. They can get more bang for their buck by auctioning it off. And when a mechanic take a car to an auction, ladies and gentlemen, it has some serious problems. A mechanic know he can sell a car for a lot more in price-wise than he can from an auction if he know the car is in good condition. So obviously, a car that a mechanic takes to the auction has to be in terrible, or there's a hidden problem with it. A lot of guys send their cars to the auction for hidden problems they don't want to fool with. Well, at any rate, I just drove this car and it is not sounding good, looking good, feeling good, any of that. I'm about to go out and let it up in the air and look it over some more until find out what's going on under the bottom. So alignment or any of that not gonna fix this problem. All right, so I'm gonna take y'all along for the inspection with me. All right, so yeah, let me put this thing in park, get it up in the air. Let's take a listen. Well, I'm just gonna take it up in the air and go for it, guys. So let me get it up in the air. Y'all come along with me. Let me go to a quick break. When I get back, I will have this car up in the air and we're gonna look it over. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm on the underbody of this 08 PT that I was working on. First of all, after the test drive, I noticed brake noise, and I thought maybe it was hub bearing, but it's not. It's actually coming from the brakes. Now, let me show y'all something. You can see that it's new brake pads, but you can also see that it's the same old rotor. So this is what somebody did, what we call pad slap. They just throw some pads on here. Now, I'm not really totally against that, but it's hard to, I don't think you should put brake pads on a rotor that's caving in or rusted out and wearing out, because you're just gonna compound the problem. And on top of that, after checking the suspension, well, I need two hands to check it, but I'm gonna show y'all what I found. That wheel is extremely loose, and the looseness coming from tie rods are not supposed to do that. So outer tie rod is replaceable. Actually the inner is too. You just need special tools, and most guys just rather do a complete rack and pinion. The boot coming off, all the grease has left this axle, so they don't need an axle. I got a leak right here at the transmission. There's a seal inside of there, but I need to check higher ups to make sure there's nothing coming from higher up. As you can see, this engine is down. It's leaning too much, so what that tells me is that center motor mount is worn out. Now also, y'all see this? Y'all know what that indicates. This estimate is going to get out of hand. I hope it don't exceed the value of the car. You can see this motor mount, but I am obligated to write up what I find, so I can't not write it up if I see it. I will only be hurting myself if I do that, because I can get blamed for some stuff. People love to say, well, y'all just had it, y'all didn't see that. It looks like somebody put a radiator in it, but the actual coolant leak, and a coolant fan, but the actual coolant leak is coming from the water pump. That's water pump area is up there. All right, now with this engine being, I don't know if y'all can tell, but this engine is lower. Let's take a look at something. I'm gonna put the light up here. I know how one look. Yes. Yes, that is too much space in between that bushing, the center mount bushing, and the frame. So that center mount is worn. When you do anything timing, water pump or timing belt related, you might as well. You can see this mount worn. I'm sure the upper mount is worn. So I will write up an estimate on that. Try to reseal. I'm gonna write up a trans service so I can get the old fluid out. I didn't let y'all take a look at the fluid, but it is nasty. This is a 41 TE, real good transmission. All you gotta do is keep it serviced, filter change. Try not to, so that debris won't make it inside the transmission. The normal debris that comes out of a transmission, you just need to keep the filter change. So debris won't make it to the trans. All right. Now this side suspension is good. Now also, what you need to take note of is the bushing. I heard a couple of knocking noise. This bushing right here. Yes, that is a lower control arm. Bushings wear out on it. Well, the car has 160,000 miles, so you got your life out of this lower control arm. It comes complete with the lower ball joint. Okay, so if you get a lower control arm, you're going to get lower ball joints. Of course, I have to recommend an alignment when I'm doing tie rods. This can cause knocking noise. I'm hearing some knocking noise. I went on a test drive. Always test drive your cars. Now, let me tell y'all something. She came in saying, I want an alignment. Never, ever do just take a car and bring it in and do an alignment without inspecting the front suspension. Okay, this front suspension has to be tight, because if you make an adjustment, what good is adjustment if the suspension is loose? If this wheel will move left and right at the 3 and 9 o'clock position, it's likely a tie rod. If it would move 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock position, it's likely your hub bearing. But your hub bearing can be noisy without being loose. So do not solely judge 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock as being okay and not being your hub bearing. They can be noisy but loose. I went and test drove. I didn't hear the typical hub bearing noise that I hear. All right, so oh god, she got this car from an auction. Y'all know how people do when they get their income tax. They go out and buy the cheapest car they can find. Of course, anything in an auction is going to have problems. That's just the way it is. That's probably why it's at the auction in the first place. Somebody wanted to auction it off. They had some ridiculous hard problem, and they didn't want to fool with it anymore. So they sent the car to the auction to try to get as much as they can. Okay, now I tend to send cars to the salvage yard, pull apart. You're only gonna get 200 or 300 that way. At the auction, you will get more, and you get to unload it. But you're unloading your problem off on other people, and I get it. Don't nobody really care at that point. You ought to know what you're getting when you go to an auction. And it's income tax season time, so this is going to be happening for the next 2 months. So I got a video out, or I got a video I'm finna do and upload concerning on using your income tax to go purchase cars, used cars at an auction, because a lot of people do this. Here we are in February. A lot of people do this. They go get a car, use it. By March, that car is done. So it's like a vicious cycle. They got to wait till next February to do the same thing all over again. I have one friend that actually do this. None of her cars last more than a month. I mean, again, you don't know what you're getting. And when you take it to the shop, she find out that the estimate or the repair is going to exceed the value of the whole car. So, guys, ladies, man, you got to be careful when you do stuff like this. This can't be a vicious cycle. Every year, the same thing. Income tax received the end of January. You head to the auction the beginning of February. By March, that car is done because of some catastrophic failure that you didn't know it had, but a mechanic or a shop looked at it and informed you that it had. Sure, you're not gonna buy a quality used car at an auction. That's a no-brainer. But the money you saving at that auction probably could have went toward a quality used car that's going to give you some type of warranty. It's all about the warranty, people. Yes, a car is going to accumulate problems, but if you have some type of warranty in place, that will likely help you. All right, because I am tired of seeing my friends and single mothers being put through this. I need to hurry up and do this video. Hopefully it can get in the ear of the right people. Basically what I'm going to be talking about is things to look for and to check. All right, so let me go to a quick break right quick, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back. Thanks for staying with me. I have the car down on the ground now, so let's talk some more about what's going on, okay? Now, as far as drivability, it's not a bad running car. It's not a bad, drivability-wise, that seems to be okay. There was a couple of fault codes, in the computer, but for some reason the check engine light was now on in the cluster. Forgot to mention that while I was inside the car. But that smells like foul play. Anytime you got fault codes, P codes on top of that in your scan tool and no check engine light on, not good. So I gotta get that taken care of, at least the codes and all that taken care of. But as far as drivability, it's not a bad running car. See, I even smell coolant. Okay, so, and that green coolant you see under the bottom, this is like a 08, 06, God, I can't remember. But at any rate, it's supposed to have a 5-year orange coolant. Now that wouldn't cause major problems, but green would show up real good, especially if you're looking for leaks. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this video up, guys. I'm gonna go tell her what I found. The estimate on all of that could very well easily exceed the value of a car that she just purchased. So y'all stay tuned for my video on what you should look for when you're buying cars from an auction or even a used car lot for that matter. That will be coming up shortly. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. All right, so I'm gonna end this and wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video.